Slow Parenting family. Welcome again to this edition of your program, the Slow Parenting program on Nostalgia Media. My name is Richie Adewusi. I'm here to take us through another exciting and informative episode of the Slow Parenting program. Okay, today, like always, apologies for having to come online late. There are some technical issues that took time for us to get to resolve. Thankfully, we're here finally. Okay, so sorry for coming on late. And today we are still the issue of morals and the upbringing of our children. Okay, last episode we went through as a backdrop, we talked about the challenges that parents in Canada, specifically voicing concerning the moral upbringing of their children, concerning the fact that they want to have a stake in the moral upbringing of their children as against what obtains right now, where the school curriculum includes issues which they are not comfortable with, that some challenges concerning their cultural, ethical, and religious values, because that is there. So we laid that background at the last episode. On this episode, well, we're going to be asking ourselves, we're going to be discussing from the perspective of looking at, what exactly are the main challenges with the demands of the parents. Okay, what is the place of society, or if you like, how do all of these impact on society going forward, or presently, or even going forward? And then the state itself, the government. Okay, when we were in primary school, forget secondary school or high school, that democracy is government for the people, by the people, and for the people. But increasingly, it's beginning to look like the people are just maybe there. In some cases, in most cases, are just some statistical figures or data for different government programming. If qualitatively the people count, as I believe we count, as I believe we should count as the people, we need to look at, where my mother comes from in the eastern part of Nigeria, called the Igbo people of eastern part of Nigeria. There's a proverb. They say when a child is crying and pointing a finger in a particular direction, if you look deep, if you don't see the mother there, you will find the father there. So there must be something behind the issues that the parents are raising about having to take charge, if you like, or have a greater input in the moral upbringing of the children, having in mind or having as tools or platform their cultural, religious, and family values, not the one size fits all indoctrination that seem to be what is happening, which is why the parents are complaining. So at this time on this program, on this edition, we're looking at what are the implications, the social implications, because we're not going back to what we did last week, but then about the press conference by the parents group in Canada, speaking out to request demand, depending on who is speaking, depending on who is listening or who is responding, the request demand a greater participation, a greater uptake, a greater involvement in the moral upbringing of our children, looking at diverse cultural, religious, and, if you like, ethical makeup as a society, as a Canadian society. And then you can extrapolate at other environments, other states across the world, where the states seem to take the front seat about how parents should relate with their children. When we break up the family, when we, for want of a better word, disenfranchise parents, when we seemingly render parents powerless, in the issue of the upbringing, the moral upbringing of their children, what good does that really do society? That's our show for today. That's our program for today. Okay, as usual, I am not alone. I'm usually not alone on this program. We'll have the other resource persons joining us as they come online. We will bring them to, share their perspective on the issue. But before we go on the short break now, the issue here is when parents are detached, are made to be detached, okay, legally by the welfare codes in the moral upbringing of our children. Okay, of course, it will be the state that is in charge or responsible for the, welfare codes that the parents would have to abide by, comply by. The society is there, is like a canvas, large canvas to, if you like, a large soccer field where the two teams are playing, and then the spectators here are the children, if you like. Okay, the two teams, who are the two teams? The states, in this case, through the educational board, the educational ministry, educational department, okay, and then the parents on the other side, through families. The society is there as spectators, and spectators, really? The society wouldn't be spectators, because whatever happens in the interrelationship between parents, the school system, the state, plays out in the society. Okay, we'll see how what we mean by this in the course of the program. Please stay with us, don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break. Thank you.
It's Matthias at the Mackenzie Park, and it's getting good to meet the person. So you can tell us what you feel about it.
You can see that even when I was asked the question, I couldn't even stop taking it because it's just so great. Like, I come from a part of Nigeria where we pride ourselves in making good pepper soup, but this is great. One of the best I've had in Montreal so far, and the goat meat is just so perfect. It's great. It's great.
Hello, people. Okay, welcome back from that short break from the program, the Slow Parenting program. Today we are looking at the topic or the issue of moral signposts II, and then we are looking specifically at the parts the parents are playing or need to play as moral signposts, the part society needs to play, or the impact on the society of this interplay between parents and their children, and then the state, on the other hand, as the other player in this whole scenario. How does any of these impact on the society? Is it just about parents voicing their issues? What are their issues? What are the implications of heeding them or not heeding them? Okay. Last episode, one of our resource persons, Ms. Bolu Palike, traced the whole issue of what's going on now with, or rather what part of what necessitated the creation of welfare department within the state to take care of the rights of the children. Because, of course, we have cases of reported cases, documented cases where parents have actually been the ones who would have abused their children, either physically or sexually, or both, parents. So it became necessary that the government, states, stepped in at some point in the past. But then on that same last episode, it was also established that, yes, that was the right step for government to take, but then some other things have, taken over that initiative by government, all still in the name of rights, human rights. Okay? And at the end of the day, the parents seem to be shuffled out of that equation of rights. Parents seem not to have rights anymore in certain states, certain countries, certain societies, when it comes to the issue of the moral upbringing of their children. Parents are limited as to what they could say or not say to their children in the process of training their children to become responsible adults, to be prepared to contribute their own quota to society in general. So at the end of the day, society has a challenge that grows out of that. Okay? The society has a challenge that grows out of that. And what are the issues here? Okay, some of the feedback we've gotten from the last episode where that we are too general in saying some things happening. We're not saying specifically what are these issues. We did. I gave an example, for instance, said that it's reported that within the educational environment, that within some classroom environment, within certain curricula, certain subjects within the school system, that children are actually encouraged to be who, well, they are not biologically. Okay, like a boy could be encouraged, could be indoctrinated to say, oh, I have certain feelings that make me feel like, okay, because I like certain colors. Somebody says, okay, because you like those certain colors, that actually means that maybe you actually might be a girl, you're really not a boy. And then those conversations start, and then things happen, and which some families are not comfortable with. Okay? In that press conference that we have cited, the speaker or the leader, or the speaker, the person who addressed the press conference, made it clear that the group is not against any subgroup in society. Okay? And upon investigation, what does it mean for him to have stated that they are not against? The position here is that if a child on his or her own, as that child grows up, decides on his or her own certain ways to go, the parents should still be able to get into those conversations to say, are you sure this is who we are in this family? This is what our culture is. Are you really sure that this is would make sense to you? Are you sure you'll be comfortable with this going forward later? Are you sure? Let that child take his or her own decision. Let the parents be able to have those conversations with their children. Okay? Without any fears of, or any fear for, some teacher saying, if your mom, if your dad tries to talk you into not towing these lines of indoctrination, you can report, and then the teacher goes on to report to the welfare people, and then things start happening. Okay? Indoctrination is what it is. It is indoctrination. Okay? Decision making, we train, we encourage, we support our children to grow up having, power to be assertive, moral character to be assertive, okay, to have high self-esteem, to be able to make informed decisions based on the training they have, based on their cultural values, their family values, their religious values. And then they've gone from the home now to the school, and some other sets of behavioral, options or traits are presented to them, not even really options. That's okay, this is how it is, or how it needs to be. The first thing that happens, people, is we are beginning to have children who are confused. Okay? We are creating a society of confused individuals. And that should not happen. Okay? The school system should be where children should go to and learn professions, learn trades, learn vocations, learn morals, with a respect, again, respect for individual culture, values, and tradition. When we erode those and we are treating everybody in a form of a one-size-fits-all moral code, well, there's even no moral anymore. We are substituting variety of cultures and morals and traditions with a position that is being dictated, which makes it indoctrination. That's a problem there. Okay? That's a problem there. If we end up destroying or subjugating, if destroying is too strong, if we end up subjugating or watering down family values, religious values, cultural values, and etiquettes, we have individuals who would have no respect for constituted authorities in society. Parents, we have said so severally on this program, you could research online, Google, ask AI, what are the roles of parents? What should be the roles of parents? Parents must be the first set of government that any child should interact with. Once that is minimized, we are opening the door of individuals who become rebellious, okay? Yes, rebellious to every other thing in society. So are we still confused or wondering why certain deviant behaviors have, gone on the increase in the general population? If parents cannot, sit their children down and have honest, open, sincere, two-way communication with their children about any issues, from reproductive health to choice of friends to choice of whatever, clothing, food, have this conversation. Find out why the individual likes that kind of food or that like of music. All right? Have a conversation. Not so that the parents that don't feel inhibited about if we discuss this now, or the child first of all says, well, you can't discuss that with me. I know I don't need to have say. Of course, the child will be right, because parents, if you insist, you might end up losing that child to welfare. And where is that child going to when maybe the issues get to taking a child away from the biological parents for regular, I use the word regular, for parental, communication, for correction, for training. And the child that now knows that, well, have decided already, well, I don't want to listen to anybody. Okay, they've said I don't have to listen to you. Those children will end up where? Why is government house where they're going to put them? The government has a house? No. Foster home. Who are the people, the foster home? There are good, wonderful foster parents, yes. But I think we should keep fostering to situations where there are really threats, serious threats to the well-being of the children. Not over parents correcting their children, imparting their traditional, not harmful traditional. Please don't get us wrong here. We're not talking about harmful traditional practices. I don't want to be specific here so that I'm not picking any particular group out. Okay? We're not saying that children should remain in abusive parental relationships. No. And we need to define or redefine what that term abusive now means when it comes to parenting. We have so much problems in the general population that got to be there because parents have been made less relevant in the issues of the moral upbringing of their children. Okay? If we haven't linked that to the general, be it crime rates, be it, disinterest in work and all, just guess where that started. Parents are there to mirror work is good, work is rewarding, honesty is good, honesty is rewarding, transparency is good, transparency is rewarding. Criminality is not good in any form, in any term. There are consequences. It's the parents first. But when parents are made, well, inconsequential in being able to enforce those positions, those values, those ethical positions, the children are left at the mercy of the general population. The children are left at the mercy of, it's not all teachers that we're not talking against anybody to start, not to talk of against any teachers. Okay? Some of the persons that help me most in life are my teachers. My teachers took specific interest in my growth in specific subject areas. Not indoctrination. My teachers were not concerned about whether I feel like being a girl when I'm a man, a boy. Neither of my teachers were not, they weren't interested in whether I'm a girl. Now I want to be a boy. We shouldn't enforce those indoctrinations. No. And that's the point the parents are making in Canada. That's about the issue of their protests. Let the children have information and education, not in the school system, not embedded in the curriculum, no. Through their socializing, normal socializing, not school. Through their normal socializing, if a child now decides that this is the path I want to go, let it be between that child and the parents. and the family. Not for us to institutionalize, okay? I know that a lot of people would not like to hear this. It's not helped society. I'm a Christian. I'm not preaching. But at the same time, most of the founding fathers of the many nations where these issues now have become center stage are Christian. They are religious people. Most of the holidays in Canada are Christian holidays. Even when Canada is a secular nation, yes. But then most of the holidays that are celebrated in Canada and in the US and in the UK are Christian holidays. Even Islam does not endorse, you decide. So the religious sects, groups are there with their codes of behavior, ethics. I think the state should look at if there are any infringements on the rights of individuals within general socialization. Not, it's like having a department in the state now, in the government, okay, now dictating what food individuals must buy from the grocery stores. Yeah. Is that challenging? So, number one, the indoctrination that the parents are campaigning against or protesting against through the school system, okay, it first creates a rebellious nature in most families, parents, children against their parents. For those who are not rebellious, for those who still appreciate family values and their family, it creates confusion in them. They don't know who to listen to. They don't know who to follow. You have individuals who now go into the general population, confused persons. They become easy prey for different kinds of indoctrination. Yes. There's a saying, if you can't stand for anything, you will fall for anything. Well, sorry, if you can't stand for something, you will fall for anything. If the parents are made, incapacitated to be able to instill some family, religious, traditional, moral standards in their children as tools, equipment with which they make informed decisions when they go to meet other, age mates, classmates, schoolmates, workmates out there in the general population, they won't be able to make informed decisions. Most of them will not be able to make informed decisions. Most of them will go along with whatever anybody else suggests to them. That goes contrary to the tenets of parenting. Yes. In the Christian faith, which I belong to, say, train up a child in the way he should go. So when he grows up, he will not depart from it. If you do not, if the state is not allowing parents to equip our children with information, education, and communication tools with which to make informed decisions when they get into the general population, out of their families, we will continue to have confused children. We will continue to have children who will become easy tools for indoctrination of any type, to radicalization of any type. I hope we get in this. Criminalities of any type. It becomes easy. It becomes easy. In over years, research work over years of parenting, of coaching young people, of coaching parents, we know that children, young people, cherish the company of their peers. Okay? So, it's one thing to cherish the company of your peers. It's another thing for you to be able to take decisions that are from, what you have been taught, what you are convinced about are what your issues should be. You're able to stand, okay, that's who you are, that's who you want to be, fine, good, you are still my friend, no problem, but that's not me. But not the one that you must follow. No. And because children, young people, cherish the company of their friends, it might not be that that is the best decision they would have wanted to take or whatever, in order not to offend their friends and lose their, company. They most times tag along, not because they want to, but because they don't want to lose their friends. That's not a position we should leave our children. Okay? That is not a position we should leave our children. Deborah, you are on this call. Okay? Let's hello, Deborah. Welcome to Slow Parenting. You're on this call. Can you be on camera? Hello, Deborah. Are you with us? Hello, Deborah. Hello. Okay. It seems that Deborah might be having some audio challenges. Okay, so we do not want to have our children, as confused individuals in the general population. That leaves them open as easy prey. Hello, Deborah. Can you hear us now? Hello, Deborah. I can see you are unmuted now. Oh, okay, I think she's still trying to get her audio going. All right. So we do not want to leave our children to fall easy prey to radicalizing groups in the society. That is the mix. That is the cocktail of our program today. So the government should now become a facilitator through the educational system, okay, of behaviors that would open our children up to indoctrination, to radicalization, which the government now would turn around to begin to want to correct or fight through the correction system, through the law enforcement agencies. You say, well, it's the challenge here. But then how would that some of those problems have been emanated in the first place? Parents are no longer in positions to say to their children, in this family, we value honesty. You can't do that. You can't, you brought this in here. Where did you get it from? Please take it back, return it. Or no, this is not a mode of dressing that we applaud in this home. This is not who we are. Okay? The government should not encourage our family to become the Joneses, which is what it looks like right now. Can we just imagine what families would look like another 20, 30 years down the line? That's the danger. That's the problem. Can we just imagine what kind of world we'll be living in another 20, 30 years from now? Those confused individuals who are out there now, who do not know who they are supposed to be, who are being encouraged, no, this is who you are supposed to be. as against who they know from where they are coming from, they should be, or they are, not should be, they would arrive, because society says you have to marry for those who want to marry, or you have to have children. They too will have their own children. They also have confused children, and the confusion would continue. It would impact law enforcement, would impact the correctional system, it would impact productivity. Yes, it would impact productivity, because increasingly, because of that confusion, we'll have greater percentage of young people who will need one form of one substance or the other, one psychotropic substance or the other, to, well, remain sane, dull the confusion, and keep going. So increasingly, we would have a society that would have a lot of its citizens requiring welfare help, not as children anymore, even as adults. That is what I mean by it would affect productivity. If we do not listen to parents and let parents play greater roles in the moral upbringing of their children, if we want to stem the slide towards, rebelliousness in society from young people, whether you call them gen, whatever gen, it's not about the gen. Our parents grew up, we grew up. It's not about the period you were born. These are all socially constructed information which are being labeled to excuse misbehavior, which parents are being deprived from solving. If we get back to let parents take charge of the moral upbringing of our children, there would be, if measured at the point of where this whole thing is agreed to and going down the line, there will be measurable drops in certain social deviant behaviors, like substance use and abuse, like school dropout rates, like ability for young people to keep jobs, be able to work and earn a living, of course, which will also translate into tax. How much do we have back from tax? If it is when people work that they pay taxes, when people work that they have a pay salary from which taxes are paid. So all of these are interrelated. So the government need to listen to the parents. It's an appeal. It's an appeal. Okay? And who is government? It's us. Those in charge at the parliament, at the state house, have children, have families. Our biggest child, all of us, our biggest child is a society. We need to care for the society. And caring for society starts from caring for the moral upbringing of our children. When the children learn to be responsible about how they speak, respond to their parents, respond to tasks at home, respond to relationship with their siblings, respond to other adults outside of their parents, there will be more respect for law and order in the general population. Yes. Yes. If you doubt that, give the parents a chance. And then measure for deviant behaviors in the society as you start as parents. Okay, don't worry. Now, this is not part of the school curriculum anymore. Your children, okay, but we will respond to abuses. Yes, physical, sexual. Give the parents a chance. And then measure for deviant behaviors in the society as you start as parents. Okay, don't worry. Now, this is not part of the school curriculum anymore. Your children, okay, but we will respond to abuses. Yes, physical, sexual. Let people who have gone against the law face the law. But let's also now look again at what is that law. How would a parent who is there to take a child through reproductive health information to say, okay, you're a young woman now, you are growing up. As you grow up, you will notice so changes in your body. You need to take XYZ steps to take care of yourself. How is that suggestive of anything? You are young, a father, a mother saying to the son, you're a young man now, you are growing. Okay, with time, you're going to start noticing XYZ in your body growth. And that would mean that if you behave this way, this kind of repercussions or outcomes, you should expect them. If you don't want those kind of outcomes and you want to pursue that your dream of being and becoming an astronaut, then you need to stay clear of these other kinds of behavior so that you can pursue your dream. Right now, we are railroading the children to becoming adults before they are even children. So dreams are becoming moribund. Dreams are dying young. So some of them don't even dream no dreams anymore. What's the hurry? What's the hurry? If we break the building blocks that should hold us all, to hold up our children to be able to respond at the gates, in the general population, standing there, okay, no, this is not who we are. Thank you, that's you. Fine. It works for you in your family, where you come from. I don't have any problems with it. I don't quarrel with you over it. Be who you are. Let me be who I am. Not the teachers getting involved through the educational system, through the educational curriculum, and the way of indoctrinating our children of becoming who their culture, their tradition, their religion frown at. There's nothing governmental about those. If we press this on, that means that that's an agenda. This is not about any conspiracy theory issues, no. If parents are being made not to be able to take charge of the upbringing of their children in all spheres of that word upbringing, then it's an agenda against the family. And if families can't hold together, society cannot be expected to function normally, properly, and together. Okay? And so people, well, that is it for us today on our program, your program, the Slow Parenting program. It is still that same time, every Wednesday, every week, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada, and 7 p.m. West African time, including Nigeria. Okay, today we have had to do, if you like, a summary about episode 1 of Moral Signposts. We had to look at what are the social implications for indoctrinating our children through the education system, whilst we make it difficult or almost impossible for parents to have a say in the moral upbringing of our children. The society pays for it. That's what we've been able to tell you on this edition of the Slow Parenting program on Nostalgia. So please leave us your comments. Go to our Zoom channel. Go to our YouTube channel. Leave us your comments. Leave us your questions. Leave us your concerns. Follow us on our other social media platforms. Leave your comment. Leave your concerns. We'll respond. Okay. And if there are any special issues that you prefer for us to look at on this program, it's all about parenting. Every Wednesday, what we do here is talk about issues in parenting, parent-child relationship issues. Okay, if there are any specific issue areas that you prefer us to delve into, don't hesitate to write us. Okay, go to our YouTube channel. You find our contact information there. All right, and then leave your comments and please subscribe. Okay, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us, and then press click on the bell so that you can get notifications when we post new videos. Okay, thank you so very much for being with us on this channel today and this program today, and we look forward to seeing you next week for another interesting episode of the Slow Parenting program. Thank you. Bye bye.
To every goal, and no matter the best or the most noble of mirroring that we do modeling, sometimes they veer off. I know that there are exceptions.
Focus on quality time rather than the other type of parenting where you take